Yeah, my ducks. How are we doing today? How's everybody's weekend going? Just sat down with my cuppa. So hopefully everybody's got a nice beverage as well. There's already 45 people here waiting, which is lovely to see everyone. We'll just do a quick hello. The first one in was Ramen. Hello, Ramen. Nice to see you. I've seen you on Instagram and things and the messages we've had there. So nice to see you here too. We've got Brian and Caroline, Sandra, Sabrina. We've got Beth and Nancy and Joe. Hello, Joanne. Nice to see you. We've got Mossy and Orshi. Hello, Orshi. Kala, Malamia. We've got Indira and Diane. Be the Light. Vintage Moon. Patsy. Hello, Patsy. Who else have we got? The lovely Patrice. Hello, Patrice. How are you? And Maddie. Nice to see you. Am I missing anybody? Tamaya Spirit, Shelby, and best watching the Depp Heard trial. I can't watch that anymore. Jen, hello, lovely to see you. Happy Saturday to you too. And Fox with a Book. We have Tortoiseshell Moon and Robin. Hello, Robin. Nancy. Laurie, nice to see you. And hey up, Miss Simon. I like that. Hey up, Patrice. Jack, nice to see you, Jack. Not seen you before, so welcome if it's your first time. And Anita. And did I say Maharet? Not sure if I did. And Malamir. I think you said Malamir. Malamir, I should say. Joe is here from behind the veil. This time last week, Joe, you was in the hot seat. Where's that week gone? Lovely Tammy Pie is here, and Marsha. And we have Anne. Dak, 314, nice to see you. Fran, and I think I've caught up. I haven't been in your live for months. Well, welcome back, Jack. Ooh, welcome back, Jack. It's lovely to see so many people here. So, yeah. So, how's everybody doing? How's your week been? It's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks actually. Lots going on this end. Things I'm not really going to go into just yet, but yeah, dealing with stuff and all that kind of thing. So, first week back at work after the Easter 2 weeks holiday feels really weird because tomorrow is Beltane, and Easter and Ostara always kind of go hand in hand for me, and I'm like, how can we get another Sabbath when it was only 2 weeks ago since Easter? Because Easter was late this year. So, yeah, and I've been reading about. I was going to talk about books as well, but I've been reading. You might recall I did a walkthrough of this book by Helena Dominic, and it's the Illuminated Guide to Wicca. And I'm really enjoying it. It's written, I mean, it's beautifully illustrated, but it's written beautifully as well. And I was reading about Beltane in this yesterday evening. Friday. Was yesterday Friday? Yes, it was. Of course, it was. So I was reading about it last night, and the fact that it's the polar opposite of the wheel from Samhain, and in ancient times it used to mark the start of summer, but now of course we have things like Luther and then we go into Lunasa or Lunasa, however you say it. But yeah, it used to be that Samhain signaled the start of winter and Beltane the start of summer. Oh, everybody's saying congratulations to Tammy Pipe. I'm not sure why. Congratulations, Tammy Pipe. Hello, Navneet. Congratulations on your grandbaby. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely news. Oh, it's going to be a boy. Okay, so you got the, you know the gender. That's nice. Congratulations. I'm so excited. Oh, that is lovely. And hello to everybody else coming in as well. I remember when I was at school and we used to dance around the maypole. You don't see it nowadays. No. You see them sometimes. We're not far from Derbyshire, the Derbyshire Dales, and they have lots of little villages in Derbyshire Dales. It's like well dressings. Do you remember well dressings? I know Tissington in particular, where I go, where my friends live, they do well dressings and things. And I've heard of little, you know, Derbyshire Peak District villagers doing maypole dancing and things. But yeah, it's certainly something that you don't see very often. Like Morris dancing. We went on a school trip, had a day Morris dancing, and that included a maypole as well, if I seem to remember, and dancing around swords on the floor. Oh, nice cuppa. Um, Trying to remember, did they have the maypole in the Wicker Man? Yes, where they sing the song. And on that bed there was a girl, and on that girl there was a boy. They're dancing around the maypole, aren't they? They're trying to sing that. But yeah, that was the song. That was what they was dancing around when that song was being played. And then he looks through the school window, and she's teaching him stuff for to have a maypole in the schoolyard. Oh, Jack had one, did he? Where are we? I went to a school in Derbyshire. We had a maypole in the playground. There you go. Oh wow, whereabouts in Derbyshire? You're quite close then, Jack. Hi Chris, nice to see you. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? And Jonathan's here. Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you. And anybody else coming in? Yeah, so it's been Woodville. I don't know Woodville. Not heard of Woodville. Is it near any sort of I would say landmark, but I meant like a kind of famous place like Ashbourne or Buxton or Bakewell or anything like that. Hello, Justin. Sorry, I'm at work. You have to apologise to us for being at work. But it's nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Woodville. Why don't I know Woodville? It doesn't even sound familiar. Um, Hello, Pamela. Nice to see you as well. So I thought today we could. I've got a couple of things to show you, but I thought I could kind of, because it's the last day of the month. I thought I would just kind of give you like a month in view, a month in view, a month overview of things I've been watching, and just down the road from Burton on Trent. Oh wow, okay. I was in Burton on Trent a couple of weeks ago. They've got the Green King head office there, and we had a meeting there. So, and I saw Howard Jones in Burton on Trent in a pub a few years back. And we was like, everybody under a certain age is now like, who's Howard Jones? I was in the car this week. I really felt my age. I was in the car this week with one of my team, and we was traveling down the M1, and we got Radio 2 on in the car, and they said, "Oh, after the news, we've got Boy George on the program," and I went, "Oh, fantastic! I love Boy George." And she said, "Who's Boy George?" I was like, "Oh my God, how can that be? How can it be that there's people alive that don't know Boy George?" I used to like Howard Jones. Yeah, he's very personable as well. We just kind of stood around him. It was weird. He was playing his keyboards and singing. I just remember there was no stage or anything. We just kind of stood around him. And then afterwards, if you wanted a recording, they burnt the CDs and you took a CD of the show that you'd watched. The most surreal, but I love Boy George too. Yeah, it got a voice like a sandpaper sandwich. Amazing. Love Boy George, I saw him in concert. I never got to see him in concert. I remember Howard Jones, but can't recall his big hit. Oh, we've had a few. Like to Get to Know You Well was one. Um, Your Song, Our Song. What was it called? Your Song or Our Song? As soon as I said Your Song, I'm thinking that was Elton John's. Don't crack up, bend your brain, see both sides, throw off your mental chains. Woo, woo, woo. I love Boy George, says Patrice. I had a co-worker who didn't know who Stevie Nicks is. Who's Stevie Nicks? No, I'm joking. Hello everyone. How's the workout going, Simon? As in walks and things. I did 16,000 steps today. Went out this morning early, had some walks. We went along the Grantham Canal, which was really nice. It was very warm for like 7 o'clock. So, Chris, still feeling poorly? Hope you're feeling better soon, Chris. Yeah, Chris been really through it over the last month. Way to go, Simon. Yeah, well, I did when Dan came, which was 2 Saturdays ago. We did 36 kilometers, so certainly getting the. I'm going tomorrow morning and Monday morning. It's a bank holiday weekend, with it being May Day, so we get a 3-day weekend this weekend. Um, Time, Clock of the Heart, yeah. Don't put your head on my shoulder. Oh, love him. My 20-year-old son loves Stevie Nicks. Oh, you've been in hospital again today? Oh gosh, Chris, back in hospital today. We spoke this morning. I had no idea. Well, we didn't speak, but you messaged. So, so yeah, so what's been happening? Well, firstly, I want to do a channel shout out. I like to do a channel shout out. And this is a channel that I discovered through my tag. So the last tag that I did was my workhorse deck. And thank you to everybody who's responded as well. It's had some good responses. And I've really enjoyed watching them. And the amazing thing about doing a tag is not only do you get to see, people responding to your prompts and finding out about, decks that people like to work with and all that sort of stuff. You get to discover new channels because you just click on the tag and it brings everybody up who's responded to it. And I've noticed there's been a few people, and that's another good thing, been a few people who are also clicking on it and watching other people's. I've seen in the comments on them saying, just discovered you and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to mention Krista from Adventures in Metaphysics. Now, I don't know if you've seen Krista's channel, but she is the sweetest person. Um, when you kind of click on a channel and you start watching and then you start smiling because the person is so infectious and comes across so lovely and sweet, and I just really, really warmed to her. And she said that she'd been binge watching some of my videos, and I've been doing the same. I've been looking back through some of her videos because I'm like, I really like her. She's got a really nice energy. And then you just end up watching a lot of other stuff that they've done. So I immediately subscribed, and I encourage everybody to do the same. Krista is so cute at Creo Pictures. So she is cute and really knowledgeable and yeah, just infectious to watch. And I like it when that happens. What did Chris say? Just calling back to see if he said anything else. No. Yeah, I'll message you afterwards, Chris. So sorry to hear that you've been poorly today. So yeah, just in case you missed it, channel shout out for Adventures in Metaphysics, the lovely Krista. So I always put that up because sometimes, even though it comes up straight away, sometimes when you type in a channel, it'll bring up lots of others. So I always like to have a picture of the logo, so you know what, or icon, I should say, so you know what you're looking for. Anyone who likes political readings, try Kate's Tarot Cafe. great simple readings, political readings. Can you believe it, Simon? It's been 2 years since I joined YouTube. Wow, TarotTube, 2 years. Yes, that's right, 'cause it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, wasn't it? The first lockdown and everything. Um, wow, time just goes by so fast, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, wow. Okay, so let's think about the month, and do join in. You know, if there's things that I mentioned that you've also been doing over the last month, then feel free to pop it in the chat as well. So things that I've been watching, um, and it used to be because you know what I'm like, ADD brain. I don't retain information, and you used to be able to go to Netflix and see your watch history, but you can't anymore. I'm not quite sure why. So this is all kind of from memory. But there's two programs that I'm watching at the moment that I'm partway through and I'm really enjoying. And the first one is Luna Park, which is tarot themed because it's now Luna Park is dubbed, but I don't mind that. Some people, I think with Netflix, depending on your settings, you can either read subtitles or dubbed. Because I know when Squid Game was released, everybody was saying about, oh, it don't take long to get used to the subtitles. I was like, what subtitles? Um, so it must be in my settings that I have the dubbing one, and I'm fine with that. Um, and it's really really interesting. It's about two girls, one that is brought up in a rich affluent family, and the other one that's brought up with like a circus. And the people that are bringing her up are tarot readers, and she's been reading the tarot as well. Um, and yeah, it's a nice story of how they kind of find each other, the two sisters and the families and stuff. I don't mind things being done. No, I don't. Hello, Becca. Nice to see you. Um, and then I've started to watch. It's an old show, but it's appeared on all seasons. Have appeared on Netflix called Humans, and people used to rave about it. And I'm undecided, but this is me. I'll get partway through, and then I'm like, ugh. And I'll switch on Netflix, and I'll go to the section that says continue watching. I think, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I've got about five, maybe six episodes into Humans, but I like the concept. It's about artificial intelligence, you know, and the rising as they start to become more human and start to take control. But I'm very early in on the series. Sorry, Simon, I buffered. What was that you were describing? The first program is a program on Netflix called Luna Park, and it's about a girl who works in a traveling circus. No, not circus. What do they call a fair? Like a, you know, in the olden times, a fair, and the tarot readers. And it's quite interesting. Um, so yeah, so Humans and Luna Park. Also, This Is Us. It's coming to an end. I've spoke about This Is Us before. Started to watch it last year, and I had like 3 or 4 seasons to catch up on. Um, it's incredible. It's really incredible. It's an emotional roller coaster watching This Is Us. And because we're in the final season, they're dropping one episode every Sunday. So my routine is I get up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday and I shower and I go out and I meet my friend at 6 a.m. We walk the dogs for an hour. We have a coffee together and then I drive back to Nottingham and I get in, I get into me comfies and then I see if the episode of This Is Us has dropped, and I watch it, and it's brilliant. I grew up watching Power Rangers. My favourite character, Rita Repulse, was so badly dubbed. Yeah, it's not. This isn't badly dubbed. I don't even. If something gets me, then I'm hooked, and then I don't tend to look at lips. You know, you don't. How often do you sit looking at someone's lips? So yeah, I think it's fine. I like it. And Squid Game, you know, I never even thought about it being dubbed. I finished watching Archive 81 this month. Well, this week actually. Again, it was one of those that I started to watch it. I watched the first 2 episodes and I thought, "Nah, I can't. I'm not feeling it." And then I was in Becca's chat, and Becca started talking about it, and everybody was like, "Oh, yeah, it's brilliant." So I thought, "Oh, I'll watch it. I'll try again." So I went back and I watched, I think, about 5 episodes or maybe 6. I'm not sure how many is in the season anyway. Um, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. It's not clicking for me." And it started to get a bit confusing, like the time differences and things. But this week I watched the last 2 episodes, and in the second to last episode, everything just kind of slotted into place. And then when you watch a season that's got a really good ending, you kind of think, well, the whole thing in its entirety is really good. So I enjoyed it. Peaky Blinders is something, again, Navi, that I've not watched. My sister goes on about Peaky Blinders, but I think I've watched the first 2 episodes maybe 3 or 4 times over the years. And it was the same with what was that program that everybody talked about? Ah, Thrones, Game of Thrones. I just couldn't. I watched the first few episodes, and it was so confusing for me. My brain just can't handle that. Hi, Stephanie. I found myself watching the same stuff on Netflix over and over. But there's one program we keep saying we must watch, and it feels like everyone has seen it. Killing Eve. Killing Eve. Thank you. So Killing Eve is on its final season on the main TV, on like BBC or whatever it is. And so Killing Eve is something I've started to watch again from the beginning. Why isn't that showing on Netflix? Oh, because I'm watching it on BBC iPlayer. That's why. Killing Eve is also something, and I'm halfway through the second season of Killing Eve. And it goes up and down. Sometimes it's really good and it's gripping you, and other times it's a bit slow and then it's good again. But I would say stick with it, Stephanie. I'm in love with the Discovery of Witches. I'm rewatching again. I also brought that was another one I couldn't get into, Discovery of Witches. Uh, Simon's Got. Simon Gott is one of the best. Gotta get through the first couple of episodes. Yeah, well, and that's it. Um, but there's probably more TV series half watched than watched with me because it's just the way I am. Same with books. If it doesn't grab me almost instantly, I get distracted. My mind wanders, and I'm looking out the window, daydreaming, or I'm picking up my phone, or I'm just doing things. If it doesn't grab me, that's it. It's lost to me. It's quite a struggle, but I'm used to it. Um, Love Discovery of Witches. Yeah, I just couldn't. I got up to the bit. Remember the lad getting knocked down by the car. I remember the book in the library. But yeah, I think I've tried a couple of times. So that's that. Heartstopper. Chris mentioned Heartstopper on his live on Thursday, and I binged it in 2 nights. Absolutely loved it. So Heartstopper, it's a British um, series, and it's about kids at school. It's LGBTQ plus friendly, and it's just really sweet. It's really sweet. I didn't realise till somebody put in Chris's chat that it's based on graphic novels, a famous graphic novel. I don't read graphic novels, so I didn't know. But I can understand that now because there are scenes, like when their fingers touch, you see like little animation, electricity, or when they hug, it's like little butterflies and hearts going around them, and it's really sweet. Um, so, yeah, so Heartstopper is well worth a watch. Heartstopper is everything for me right now. It's really good, isn't it? I hope that there's another season, but yeah, it took me 2 nights to watch that. Films, I've not watched a lot of films, to be honest. I haven't really had a chance. I did watch Spencer, which is the Princess Diana story. in a fashion. It's based over, I think, a 3-day period over Christmas, and it was the Christmas where it'll be 91 to 92, won't it? Where she'd had enough. It was. There's a famous picture taken um, of her where the whole family is there. She's right on the edge, kind of stepping back, and um, but I enjoyed it. It's different to what I expected it to be. The Crown, it isn't, but it was interesting. I just didn't really warm to the actor who played Diana. She's got a voice quite well, but it didn't feel like I was watching Diana really. I couldn't face Spencer. How was it really? I it was okay. It was okay. I'm glad I watched it. Would I watch it again? Probably not. Um, I don't really think there's been a good Diana film made. There was another one a couple of years ago, which took her up to the death, and affairs of Dodie and all that. And I didn't like that either. Um, but we'll leave it to The Crown. The Crown seems to be doing an excellent job. The Crown is one of my favourite TV programs ever. I love it. Can't wait for November. I can wait for November. I really can wait for November, but at the same time, I'm excited for the next generation of Crown cast with Imelda Staunton. And then the other film I ended up buying, I downloaded it and paid for it. It's called Supernova, and it's Colin Firth, and I can't think of the actor's name, but he was in Ugly Betty with the glasses, bald head and glasses like mine. Nearly had his name then. But anyway, they're a couple, and the guy who was from Ugly Betty gets dementia, and they decide to go off on an adventure together. And it's very sweet, and it's very touching, but it's also trigger warning. It is quite triggering, particularly if you've looked after loved ones with that cruel and horrible illness. Thank you, Stanley Tucci, says Nancy. It was Kristen Stewart that played her. That's it. I didn't know that. It's Charles a sparkly prince when he stands in the sun. What? Is he a sparkly prince when he stands in the sun? No, but the guy who played um, Prince Charles in The Crown, the last 2 seasons, um, is Josh O'Connell. Not Josh O'Connell. Oh, what is his name? He was in God's Own Country, which is also a brilliant film. Let's see what his name was. He is such a good actor. Prince Charles in Josh O'Connor, not Josh O'Connell. Josh O'Connor. Also close, very close. Josh O'Connor is a fantastic actor, and I watched it Sin again with my mum. What did she think? It's a Sin has now gone on to Netflix as well. It went on at the beginning of last week. And I'm telling everybody to watch it. I think I've watched It's a Sin now 4 times all the way through. Oh, there's only 5 episodes, but such a powerful. Chris, you'll probably enjoy It's a Sin, and it's set in the 80s, and it's got an 80s soundtrack and stuff. But the friendship group is brilliant. You thought it was really good. That's good. And then that's what I've been watching. What I still want to watch is The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe. Really want to see that. I haven't had time yet, so maybe that'll be my bank holiday viewing, perhaps on Monday. But what's everybody else been enjoying? Feel free to pop it in. 'Cause I've got a couple of days as well, so it might be nice to chill out on Monday, perhaps bank holiday Monday with Netflix. Oh yeah, it's on my list. I fancy the pants off Ollie Alexander. He's really good. I mean, he's a great singer, but this is his first acting role, and he's really good in it. Really is good. But you really get invested in the characters as well. And interestingly, not a lot of people know this. It is based on true events, and it's based on Russell T Davies, who's the creator, based on his circle of friends at that time. But he didn't put himself into it because if he did that, everybody would be like, "Oh, it's a what do they call it? What do they call it? Autobiography, an autobiography drama." And he didn't want the story to be about him. He wanted it to be about the people that you know, without giving it away, was affected at that time. So I really like that. And Jill, who's one of the main characters in it, the real life Jill comes into it and plays Jill's mother, um, so who it's based around. It's good to get these recommendations. I'm always listening to music because I never know what to watch. Hard to get my interest. Yeah, I think it's hard to get my interest as well, but um, Christian Bale is my forever Batman, says Pegasus Oracle. Yeah, well, that was filmed here in Nottingham, the Batman Returns, Wayne Manor. In fact, you watch Elle and Sandra's trip to Nottingham, not last month? No, the month before. It was February, wasn't it? During February half term. We went to Woolerton Hall, which was where they filmed Batman Forever, the Deer Park as well. Uh, Hilary Hagstone says, hi Simon and all. If we're talking telly, yes, Discovery of Witches is wonderful. Watching Risen at the moment, dead girl finding out who murdered her. Risen, okay, that sounds interesting concept. Um, uh, Twilight, I've never watched Twilight. I'm only really a TV person, but that I can watch and watch it again, Sandra. Oh, what's that? What can you watch and watch again? Oh, Downton Abbey. There's a new movie out, isn't it? Is it like the second movie? So yeah, books. So books that I've been reading. Tarot books as a guidebook. Love Journey through the Guy and Tarot. I've already mentioned this book, An Illuminated Guide to Wicca. My intention with this book was to start at the beginning and work my way through, and I have done. I've read the history of Wicca and all about Wicca, but then I've been tapping. What is the word? I've been dipping. That's the word. Dipping in and out for certain things. But yeah, really, really nice book. I think it's out everywhere now because I got it sent for review, but I think it was end of March it was released in the UK, and I think maybe April in the US. Um, Also, I've been reading some of the Wild Wisdom Companion. I finished the Grimoire book that I was telling you about. I finished that, and I've made some notes of things that I want to print off from that for my own grimoire and some things to write out for it. Again, this is Maya Toll's Wild Wisdom, beautiful book, and it has some oracle cards at the end, but I don't use them as oracle cards. I use them as altar cards. Um, Simon, what was the first show you mentioned called? The one that was dubbed? That was called Luna Park. It's on Netflix. And then this arrived today, and I've not opened it yet. I thought I'd wait for this. Um, it looks brilliant. And it was thank you to Jennifer Rebecca, who sent me a message saying she had been into Barnes and Nobles and there was an open copy of this, and she'd flicked through it. I think it was Barnes and Nobles. She'd flicked through it and said, "This is a really great book, check it out." And it's on Amazon, and it was on Amazon, UK, and US. And it's about the history, tarot and divination cards, a visual archive And there's some amazing images in this. In fact, I took a picture. Which one will it be on? Because you can go to Amazon and read part of the book and see some of the images. And there's a lot of information you can get before you then have to buy the Kindle version. It goes through each of the majors as well, but it will give you, say, for instance, the Fall in Marseille, in RWS, in Toth, in Itella, and all different kind of representations and talks about it. So see if I've still got it. Yeah, look at this. This is one of my favorite fall images. Isn't that amazing? It's just something really amazing about that picture. I was like, oh, I've got to screenshot that. Let me get the chat back open. So we'll have a look at that. It's a new purchase. So decks that I've been working with throughout April. Right at the beginning, I got the Gaian Tarot. The lovely Tarot Diva Ellie sent me this, and it was the Llewellyn version, which, as I said at the time, never thought I would get this. But she was kind enough to send it me. It's better in every way, not just the fact that it doesn't have the double borders. The cardstock is really nice. Shuffles beautifully. It's such an earthy, beautiful deck. I love it. And as I said, the book is just incredible, which is Journey Through the Gaian Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert. Sharon Marchetti. Love that deck. I know it's amazing, isn't it? Not the chalice well, the four of water. So it uses the elements, because it's the Gaian Tarot, rather than cups. It'll have water, fire, air, earth. So yeah, so the Gaian Tarot is one that has been on my desk. So everything that I'm showing you are the decks that have been on my desk for this month, that I just have to hand. Queer Tarot, and as I said when I did the walkthrough, you don't have to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community to really love and appreciate this deck. It's mahoosive, but the artwork and the colours in this deck are just stunning, absolutely gorgeous. The cards are amazing. They feel like indie quality. Um, I love that rainbow crochet bag. Yeah, there was before I was on YouTube, so we're going over 5 years ago, when I was first on like Instagram, and I was friends with Marty. I say friend, I was friends, still am friends, but that's where I first met Marty. There was somebody on there called Woolly Chuck, and she was somebody who crocheted and kept chickens. And she did one for Marty. I think his was circular, and then she made one for me and sent it, which was really lovely. It was the first thing I was ever sent. And it's been waiting for the right deck. And of course, Queer Tarot um, is that such deck. Anybody else got this deck? I just love how inclusive it is as well, not just in terms of ethnicity or obviously sexuality and members of the trans community, but in terms of age and body shapes and all that. It's just wonderful. Oh, yours is coming tomorrow, Sandra. Are you going to do a walkthrough? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on it. Look at this for the April. Really love it. The use of colour. So yeah, so Queer Tarot, I'm loving, absolutely loving. And this is just because we're going into a new month. I've got some decks coming that I'm really excited about. Um, 3 decks that I'm really equally excited about. So I know they're going to get a lot of my attention during the month of May, but the Queer Tarot isn't going anywhere either because I'm really enjoying working with it. I got the Queer Tarot and I love it so much. Beautiful decks, Pamela. Wish list of Becca. This deck looks like joy. It really is. It really is. Fantastic quality. Um, Amazing box. This was like, I think Marty paid £15 for his. I paid 17. Well, it fluctuates. You know what Amazon's like. But and the book is gorgeous. It comes in a box within a box. The packaging and everything on this is just beautiful. Yeah, and the book, I really love the book. It's got that kind of rubbery um, cover on it. The colours are gorgeous. It really is. Um, Maybe you can get it when the entertainment funds allow. Yeah, but if Becca's anything like me, you've got an ever expanding wish list. So, Queer Tarot there. Um, Old school tarot. Now, this technically I got towards the end of March, but I've worked with it a lot during April. It's a little pocket size one. Well, it's probably a little bit bigger than a pocket size. The gilding on this is one of the nicest gildings I've seen. Oh, there I am. Hello. It's just beautiful in this kind of orangey copper. Not like well, it is metallic. I was going to say not like the metallic copper. It's got like a really rusty orangey colour. Gorgeous. Oh dear. Um, yeah, but I mean this has replaced the Mystic Megalers. Mystic yeah, Mystic Megalers. Um, for scratching that sort of cartoon, Looney Tunes, Disney type. It's very. These are plastic as well. It's a plastic deck. Now, somebody left a comment on my video walkthrough of this, saying that it's now out of print. But I got an email from mate for a number who um, sends me the deck, and in the ones that you can choose to review, there is a old school version 2. So maybe it's different card stock, or maybe it's the full size, as in full tarot size. But these just work so well this time. They're not Lenormand. In fact, against a tarot card, that's the size. And they are quite good. So yeah, um, and I think um, Marsha bought it because Marsha always buys plastic decks. She hears that a deck's plastic, she'll buy it. And I'm sure she's left a couple of comments saying how much she really loves this deck. So Old School Tarot is another one that I've worked with a lot this month. The little gloves in that deck crack me up. I like the copper gilding. I want my kitchen. Not really, but yeah, it's really nice. And it feels quite weighted, because it's plastic. So that's that one. What else? There's only 2 more that I've been working with a lot. Obviously, my latest tarot deck that I've reviewed, or the latest one that I've received, which is the illustrated Trionfi della Luna. I can hardly believe I'm about to say this, and I've only worked with it for a few days, but this could replace the Deviant Moon. I think there is something about the subtlety of the colours. I mean, just look at those oranges and purples on the flowers, the muted colours, the more kind of Patrick style of sketchy art as opposed to computerized, because he would draw them and then put them through a computer, for the Deviant Moon, put them through a computer. Um, but this is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just loving it, really, really loving it. County Della Luna has been great so far. I've been working with it for about a week, just so nice. I have the same feeling about that, Simon. Though my copy has not come yet, I hesitate to say that it might become my favourite Valenza deck. I think it will. I think it will. Because I think with Deviant Moon being my first ever Patrick Valenza deck, it will always hold a special place. But then when we started to get things like the Mildred Payne and the Oracle of Black Enchantment and all the other kind of wonderful decks, we're getting more of this kind of hand-drawn illustration. And so, and like I put the clip into the walkthrough video, when he said 4 years ago on this channel, I'm thinking about illustrating the pips for the Trophy della Luna, my heart skipped a beat. Oh, that'd be amazing. I mean, the pips on the Trophy della Luna, as in the Marseille version, is um, is wonderful. You know, they're beautiful. They really are beautiful. But I like. I'm always going to have RWS above Marseille. I can appreciate Marseille. I like sometimes to read with Marseille, but I'm more comfortable with RWS. So give me a choice, and I'll go with it. Simon, I think it's because it's more RWS than Deviant Moon deck. Yeah, possibly. I think it's just the style of it that I really like as well. Hi Simon, I just happened to see you were on, and I'm so blown away that you are reviewing Deviant Moon. I just bought it. Wow, crazy! Thank you. Hello, Evelyn. Yeah, it's the Trionfi della Luna by Patrick Lenzo, who did the Deviant Moon. Oh, I love it. So that one, and then the last one, which is a Marseille style deck that has been on my desk since I bought it, and I've shown it a few times, but I cannot rave about this deck enough. This was my first ever tarot deck, way back in 1987, as a sweet, innocent 16-year-old, never been kissed boy, and it was the 1JJ Swiss. But it is available on Make Playing Cards in an antique version, which is full tarot size. Now, people say, well, the 1JJ is a tarot size. It is, but it's smaller than an NPC US games style. Do I have one to hand where I can give you an example? Okay, so 1JJ Swiss. Let's find the fool in both decks. And you can see the difference. The card stock, because it's I mean, I love NPC card stock, really, really do. They nailed it. It's going to be right at the back, isn't it? The back card and then look farther to the back. There it is. Okay, so the vintage version that's on NPC and the original version. So you'll see side by side, there is a sizable difference. They're also in English. Now, I do have an English version as well, which is that the English version? No, this is the um, this is the 1970 version in the two-part box. I've got an English version. I've got I've got many versions of one JJ Swiss because it's that special deck, right? It's that first tarot deck. Um, my one JJ Swiss is so old now. It's a banana. It's really clear, does it? Is it the same cardstock as the Marseille Triomphe? That's amazing to ripple. Marseille Triomphe. I'm not sure what that is, Chris. Um, well, I don't know. You've ordered from MPC, right? You've got some MPC decks. I think this is the Superior Smooth. I believe. There's not much in it between the Standard Smooth and the Superior Smooth, to be fair. But look, but for me as well, the colours seem to really pop against that sort of antique, sepia background. So I am going to get a Kelly Bear pouch so that I can have my RWS. I won't put the brushing forward, that's on the last little box. But I've got a 1973 blue box, which is exactly the same, it's not a beautiful, which will go one side. I want to get the double pouch, and this one the other side. So I'm carrying around with me one JJ, a Marseille and an RWS. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, is the Tronfi della Luna illustrator the same cardstock as the? Oh, yes, yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I love that MPC version, and no, it's amazing. They also do a really large antique version of Aquarian as well, which is really nice. But my favourite is this one JJ Swiss. And the images are in public domain now, so they're allowed to use them. What else am I missing? I love MPC cards too. I also purchased the Aquarian Tarot deck and the Dirty Pam. The Dirty Pam? Is that? Oh, you mean Pam's old deck? This one by Conrad Stain. Pam's old deck. I'm not going to give too much away, but there's something very exciting on the horizon involving this deck. Stay tuned. But yeah, that's a favourite of mine, and that's out on my desk as well. Jen said, "Okay, I just ordered the illustrated Tronfi della Luna. So glad you did, because there's only 500 copies. And I'm hearing about all these people buying them. I'm thinking these 500 copies are lasting, but they could go any day, couldn't they? I mean, Patrick is normally pretty good. He'll send an email out saying, we're down to the final 5 or something like that. Simon love Pam's old deck, yeah. So I just think it's going to go really quickly because it's everything. Amazing. At that. Anyway, so that's the tarot decks that I've been working with. This is nearly an hour cold now. NPC website gets harder and harder to find things on. I just scrolled by one. Yeah, it is. Even if you just get a little character wrong, or like when you look up CS Tarot, you have to put C dot S dot tarot, otherwise it won't bring it up. It's been a while since I've been in CCNC influence. Oh, it's been a while since I've been CCNC influence. That is what happens when I emerge from my cave. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. I bet it's been a while since you bought a tarot deck, Jen. Morning, Denise. Holy shit, Robin. How long did that take? Oh, to scroll through everything. It wouldn't take long, actually, to scroll through the tarot selections. Oh, it didn't when I last did it about a year ago. Don't you have the My Dirty Pam by Luke also? My Dirty Pam. Yes, I do. That is in my work bag, My Dirty Pam. So that's based on the creator's own deck, scanned in, the one that they've had for like 30 years, all bashed and got folds and rips and everything, but it's scanned in and it's like an old scrumptious deck. Yes, quite right, I do. I did. Oh, my Wandering Moon deck just came to the door. Looking forward to that. Are they the one that Marty's been showing? They're on my, I think they're on my list. All the way over there. I've probably got handwritten, it says stylus written, it means. Sure, that's the one. Let's take a look. Oh, oh, I had a little booklet for decks. Oh, decks, there it is, right in front of me. If it is, it's not the ones I wrote down. Have you seen Pixie's Whisper Tarot? Oh, I love it. That is probably going to be next month's purchase. Esther from Mindful Tarot has used it to do a reading on grief, I think it was, and was showing the cards as well. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Took a while to find because I think there was a Lenormand and a Majors Only that kept coming up, but it is a full tarot deck as well. Even though I scrolled every page, I don't find Crystal's new Oracle deck that she did. Yeah, I had that get mentioned the other day. I'm not sure what it's called. Martin has been showing them look really cool. It's the black and white sketchy one, isn't it? Yeah, I meant to put them onto my list. Yeah, they look really nice. There is a Majors Only one come out, but I don't know if I'd get a Majors Only. I'm not going into Majors Only. Okay, so what else? So there's the book, and Sandra made me do it. The Avalon Magic. So you know these little rock ball mini decks. I didn't even know this existed until Sandra showed it. So, oh, and also, oh no, I was going to say, oh, and also, you would just kind of realise what he's saying. I was like, also, I got a candle holder. You're not going to be interested in a candle holder. I thought in John Lewis. I mean, it was a little bit extravagant for candle holder, but I was like, ooh, just saw it there. I was like, oh yeah, also I bought this. Yeah, I finally enabled Simon. Sandra made me do it too. I mean, they're like £7 or £8, aren't they? And the artwork is amazing. But I want to have a look in this. So let's have a look. It's a chunky book. It's not the size of like the Pamela Coleman Smith Complete Story or the Deviant Moon. It's a little bit smaller, but it weighs a ton. And it wasn't expensive really for a book of this size. It was 20 quid. on Amazon. 5 minutes or shows the candle holder. No, it's quite a boring candle holder. There's nothing really exciting about it. I just felt quite drawn to it. It's like a little teacup. And you put your candle in. Yeah, I've got some candles here. So you have to push it down on the pin. If anybody's coming in now and seeing me doing that. Well, the box is nice. I bet at least one person's away to buy it though. What a candle holder. Okay. So still wobbling a bit though, so push it down on the pin. It's not oh, there we are. Just a plain candle holder. Well, I liked it. And there's a full range in that grey. There's a incense holder and all sorts. Everyone should know that I just bought Queer Tarot, so I'm slagging myself off too. Oh, I'm glad you bought it. I think you'll love it. When you said to me earlier about a deck and the art style, kind of reminded me of that. So I think you'll really like the art style of it, Chris. So do a walkthrough. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So this is a beautiful book. Can you see all this embossed in here as well? There's the different symbols in it. We've got the sun, we've got sword, scales, pentacle, cup, staff, moon. You can pick up. Oh, there we go. Really gorgeous book. So on the back it says for century, and we get the different cards. Look, even modern ones like Carnival at the End of the World. So it's a real sort of journey through time. And the forward in it is by Rachel Pollack. So for centuries, card games have served as fortune-telling tools and introspective mirrors through which we can engage with our path, our drive, and our desires. Acting as a visual oracle, the cards have become an iconic and adaptable muse for seekers in all walks of life, and also an inspiration for mainstream culture, from high fashion to pop. That's like the Versace thing, isn't it? In this book, Letitia Barbier invites readers to contemplate hundreds of tarot decks and divination cards, to bask in their visual beauty and understand how these images and their ineffable storytelling power came to be. What did they mean at the time of their creation, and what do we see in them today? From Rihanna to Valaquest Pope, I'm saying that right? Valaquest Pope. Obscure Renaissance decks to contemporary, is that word again? If you ever watched me try to do a walkthrough of the Everyday Enchantment, could I say contemporary? Masterpieces. Tarot and divination cards, a visual archive, passes the incredibly rich history and the glorious tales these cards depict, proving that cartomancy is alive and well, always in motion. Oh, beautiful, beautiful book. It just feels like quality. Paper is gorgeous. It's got like a silky satin finish. Love the artwork. In the beginning was the voice. Oh, and I think that's Rachel. Yeah, it's Rachel Pollack's. Uh, Yeah, I'll just read you the first couple of sentences. In the beginning was the voice. These words woke me up in the middle of the night, not as a dream or a spoken statement, but as a kind of message waiting for me. I'd spent the day and evening reading this wondrous book, thinking about its array of marvels over many centuries and many traditions, the way it gracefully dances between Renaissance, classical art, folk images, alchemical and magical symbols, fashion shows, and mystically received messages, all the way to the movies, television, and comic books, and especially how Letitia moves gracefully through each and every part of it. So I'm really looking forward to diving in. Here's your table of contents, tells you everything that's in here. So we get In the Beginning Was a Voice by Rachel Pollack, the introduction, a brief history of cards and their use as a spirited device. And then we go through each of the major arcana, and you get a lot of information because, like it shows here, what the full, you get all of this. And then when you turn over, it shows you other full cards from other tarot systems. You get the minor arcanas, cartomancy, and divination games. So it links to the suit of diamonds, spades, hearts, and clubs. We go through Itella, or Itea, I suppose is the correct way to say it. Lenormand, the hieroglyphic tarot of Madame de Laura, the Sibylla, the Eye of God, the arithmetic game. There's loads here. Le Tarot Astrologique, the Great Game of the Hand, and the Antique Destiny deck. And then it goes through modern tarot deck, Brady Tarot, Dust to Onyx, Khan and Selznick, not heard of that one, Ghetto Tarot, Pavlov's Tarot, and Usi. 384, what's it say about Usi? Oh, there's a whole section here on Mademoiselle Lenormand. 384. Love it. There's so many amazing pictures in this. There's the whole section on it. I can't see. Oh, there we are. 384. Oh, yeah, it's all about taking over the world. So it's a real journey. Um, I look at that. More about the Fool. It tells you where they're all from, the year, going to the magician, lots of information. Love it. So there is six pages of illustrations for each card as well, including like um, the 20 deck. This book, look at that. See, a lot of these images I've not seen before as well, so it's going to be great to look where they've come from, where they're taken from. Devil's That looks like something out of I Am the Walrus and the Beatles. What text that from? Lucifer and Small Devils from the Wilder Man. Ooh, Baphomet. It's amazing. It's amazing, guys. That image. Oh, Amazing. So the book is Tarot and Divination Cards, a visual archive, and it's a nice big chunky heavy book. So if you watch this back, Jennifer, Rebecca, thank you for sending me a link to it and telling me about it because you'd seen it in a shop. So I really appreciate that. Yes, coffee table. Yeah, but you need to be a wooden one. I won't have a glass top one because this is heavy. Heavy. So what time are we on? Gosh, it's 10 past already. I haven't even had my dinner yet. So we'll just have a quick look at the Avalon Magic. I love these little rock pool decks. I've got so many of them now. But yeah, this is like we've got the palette here. These healing words, inspired by magic and mystery of Avalon, connects us to spirit, nature, and existence of life itself. This beautifully illustrated deck is designed to empower, inspire, and allow the heart of the seeker to be open to divine guidance. On your soul pilgrimage of discovery, give yourself time to reflect and contemplate each of these insightful messages for your spiritual growth. Brilliant. Fantastic box. £7. I mean, can't go wrong. Sandra only has two of these little decks. So I might get Forest Bay one though. Yeah, I've got Forest Bay. I like the is it Mystical Doors? I like that one. So these are that's interesting. These are in kind of portrait of the landscape and they have words on the back. So I'm not going to read them all because it would take too long. Is it just me or is the sound off? Oh, I don't know. Is the sound okay? Pegasus has a couple and they're cute. Bye, Hillary. I'm doing that. So we don't get never be afraid to voice your truth. Because truth comes from a deep place within your soul. Honor your soul path and step into your authentic self. Let your intuition inform your pathway. So these would be great for just shuffling and pulling one out. I would say I'd pop it. Oh, I could pop it into my file of facts. Take it to work. So I've got like a visual reminder through the day. Love always supports you and aligns you to a true purpose. Look how beautiful that is. The light that you are seeking is already within you. Follow these things that bring peace to your soul. Got a unicorn here. Let go of who you think you should be. Embrace who you are. Amen. You're a little muffled. Has it just started? It just. Let me see if I can. Let me go to. Have done anything? The only other thing is if I. No, then I'll just come out completely. They're called Avalon Magic. Oh, look there. Life will support the vision you have for yourself. Make it the best it can be. Tomorrow, because tomorrow is Beltane, I will be recording the next chapter of Lunar Moon here. Luna arrives in Beltane. I'm not going to show all of these, I'm just conscious time. And if my volume is now playing up, the rest of the talk, the path isn't always a straight line. You come back to things that you thought you understood and see deeper truth. Aren't they gorgeous? Don't be imprisoned by your past. Create a brand new you. Hold that vision. Chalice. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Honor your commitment. Be loyal to your soul's longings. This is where you'll find joy. Bye, Tony. Beautiful one. Oh, look at that. So if you're thinking these are familiar, Sandra did mention that a lot of the artwork is taken from Mr. Avalon Oracle deck, but I'm going to use these for a completely different purpose. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Honor the magic of the land, be nature's friend and ally, assist in recreating Mother Earth's original garden, your wonder. And we get beautiful chalice well design here. Be attuned to the rhythm and cycles of life and notice the shifts, the changes. Peace comes from the sacred union of nature and spirit. They look like they could totally be tarot cards. Yeah, be interesting. And we've got like courts or emperors and things like that. We've got knights. Be interesting deciding them. Rose in Sarah and illustrated by Nadia Turner. Yes, Nadia Turner, create a tarot deck. Yeah, so I thought that was just really nice just to, go onto Amazon for £7, beautiful little illustrated deck. I can just pull and take that message with me through the day. All right. I know it's a little bit 10 minutes earlier, but I've been rushing today and I haven't eaten yet. I'm starting to feel a little bit like I'm flagging. So I'll pull a card and then we'll wrap it up. Happy Beltane. Yeah, tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to doing the lunar moon hair. I started shuffling. I was like, what deck am I using? So we'll use the illustrated tips. We'll probably pull a corpse or a major and be like, oh, they shuffle beautifully. It was Chris, wasn't it? Who was asking about. We'll go with that. Oh, we have the Three of Swords. Um, well, the positive of the Three of Swords is about triumphing over an emotional situation. It's about finding your way forward. And I know it can be really easy to say things like, oh, you need to triumph over it. It depends what you're going through. Is it grief? Is it loss of some sort? Is it betrayal? Is it past traumas? Is it hurt? Has somebody said something to you that's, caused you to feel let down? Depending on what it is and the severity, it can be too easy sometimes to say, well, you'll triumph over it. We know we will because we do. We're resilient. But, I guess the guidance here should be really to keep a clear mind and an open heart. Think of this, it's the swords, isn't it? Clear mind an open heart, because when you have a clear mind and an open heart, you really do open yourself up, and you have to trust again. That's the key message, really. We have to trust again. Keep that clear mind, things that have hurt us, the things that where people have let us down, or the loss that we felt, everything like that has created us into the beings that we are today. Remember, we are the sum of our lived experiences. So all of those things that's happened, the good and the bad, have shaped us into who we are. So it's important that we learn from the past, but it's really also important that you have an open heart to be receptive, to allow people to come back in. And if you are really going through it, if it's a real Three of Swords moment, then just remember as well, you don't have to suffer alone. Part of that opening your heart is reaching out and saying to people, those around you, friends, family members, whoever it is, partner, I'm really struggling at the moment and I could do with some support. There's no weakness in that either. So, this little alien person has the biggest heart. I'm sure it can withstand intrusive thoughts that I'm trying to pierce through to it. Strong little alien fella. Are you seeing him as an alien? Yes, he just looks a bit alien. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming along today. It has been lovely to spend some time with you. Um, I'll be back in the week, hopefully, when my two packages arrive. They're both coming from Germany, but both completely different things. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you. So thank you for being here, everybody. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste.